Welcome to NHK Newsline. I'm Gino Tani in Tokyo. We begin with the latest on the new coronavirus. China is reporting fewer cases, but there are higher numbers elsewhere. NHK calculates confirmed infections worldwide now exceed 100,000 in more than 90 countries and territories. Deaths from the virus have climbed to 3,500. In Italy, the number of infected people was nearly 6,000 after more than 1,000 were added to the tally. That was the biggest single-day increase. The number of fatalities in Italy has exceeded 200, which is the second highest after China. In the U.S., infections are spreading from coast to coast. At least 11 people have died. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence met cruise industry officials in Florida on Saturday. The day before, dozens of people were tested on board the Grand Princess cruise ship, and 21 were found to have the virus. The vessel, now anchored off California, is carrying about 3,500 people. Pence said the government and the industry agreed to enhance entry and exit screening and establish shipboarding testing. He said they will also set up standards to quarantine ships and transport sick passengers to land. Pence added officials are tracking another ship that may have shared crew members with the Grand Princess in California and the Diamond Princess that was quarantined in Japan. Pence and President Donald Trump appeared at an event near Washington, D.C. that was attended by a person who later confirmed as infected. The organizer of the annual gathering of the conservatives says the person had no interaction with Trump or Pence and did not attend events in the conference's main hall. In China, authorities said the death toll on the mainland was 3,097. Total infections exceeded 86,000. Chinese authorities reported only 44 new infections on Saturday. That was the second day in a row with fewer than 100 new cases. Pope Francis will not deliver his usual Sunday blessing this weekend in St. Peter's Square. The news comes after the first case of coronavirus infection was reported on Friday in the city-state. The Pope will not address the crowd from a window as he usually does. He will instead pray in the library in the Vatican's Apostolic Palace. His blessing will be viewable on the internet or large screens in St. Peter's Square. The pontiff will also not hold a general audience at the square on Wednesday. The event regularly attracts people from all over the world. The Vatican does not say how long these arrangements will continue. Rescue work is underway in the southern Chinese province of Fujian after a hotel collapsed. The facility was being used to quarantine people from coronavirus-hit areas. Local media say on Saturday evening, the building in Qianzhou City came down, trapping about 70 people. It was being used to quarantine those who had traveled from Hubei province and other areas. Medical workers were also staying at the hotel when the incident occurred. 43 people had been rescued by early Sunday. Local media quoted on Eyewitness as saying there was a loud noise just before the building collapsed. Media report the hotel had 80 rooms and reopened 2 years ago after being renovated. Doctors at a hospital west of Tokyo say the new coronavirus is likely to have caused meningitis in a male patient in his 20s. The man had a fever and sought treatment at other medical institutions, but was not tested for the coronavirus. He was found collapsed at his home on Friday and was transported to the hospital where he tested positive for the coronavirus. He is now in intensive care in Yamanashi Prefecture. He has a fever and pneumonia in addition to meningitis. That's the inflammation of the membranes that cover the brain and spinal cord. The doctors say this is a very important case as it is extremely rare for the new coronavirus to trigger meningitis. People in China and South Korea who are hoping to get to Japan are rushing to complete their trips. That's before self-quarantine measures for all arrivals from the two countries go into effect. The Japanese government announced last week that starting on Monday, it would request all travelers from China and South Korea to remain isolated at designated facilities for 2 weeks. This includes Japanese nationals. A Japanese woman who arrived at Tokyo Haneda Airport with her children said she agrees with the decision.
I moved up my plans and changed our flight so as to get back today, but my husband is still in Seoul for work.
A South Korean man in his 50s said he was surprised by the announcement, but still decided to make a one-day trip to Japan.
I came on urgent business. I thought now may be the only chance.
The total number of confirmed infections in the country stands at over 1,100. That figure includes about 700 from the Diamond Princess cruise ship. 13 people have died, including 7 from the vessel. Taiwan's largest opposition party has elected a new leader. This follows its loss in January's presidential election and as concerns mount over China's increasing pressure on the island. The Nationalist Party says Johnny Chiang got about 84,000 votes supporting his bid to be chairman. Former Vice Chairman Hao Longping received 38,000. Both candidates suggested revising the party's policy of sticking to the concept of one China.
The Nationalist Party can certainly change with efforts from every member.
Chiang said it's time to redefine the relationship with the mainland as people in Taiwan question the policies of the Chinese Communist Party. Attention is now focused on Chiang's policies as he tries to rebuild the party. Media reports say Saudi Arabian authorities have detained senior members of the royal family after an alleged coup attempt. The move is believed to be part of efforts by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to further consolidate his power and remove potential rivals to the throne. The Wall Street Journal and other media outlets reported on Friday the detention of former Crown Prince Mohammed bin Nayef, known as MBN, and Prince Ahmed bin Abdulaziz. MBN is a nephew of King Salman. His title of Crown Prince was removed 3 years ago. Prince Ahmed is a younger brother of King Salman. The two princesses are reportedly accused of plotting to oust the king and the crown prince. They were potentially in line for the throne, but they have kept their distance from Crown Prince Mohammed, who is Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler. He is trying to reform the kingdom's economy so it is less dependent on oil production. Saudi authorities in 2017 detained a number of businessmen and royal family members who dissented from the crown prince. They were charged with corruption and had tens of billions of dollars worth of their assets confiscated. Those were the main stories for this hour. That's the news this hour. I'm Chino Tani for all of us here at NHK Newsline. Thanks very much for joining us.